Too much of anything will kill you. I'm Mr. Sindel. I'm back. Today is Thursday, September 26, 9/26/19. Make sure your name and date are on your paper. Some of you are not putting your name on your notes, and then you leave it behind, and I don't know who they belong to. So I have like some random notes collected. Make sure your name is on your notes, and it does help it narrow it down. All right. Choir's hand objective. Who can read? Beverly's fastest. Perfect, there it is. And I will make this note as well. While we are doing it both algebraically and graphically, I am only going to be testing you on algebraically. Graphically is not going to be part of your test because Khan automatically makes their test and it's not included, which means it's not going to be in your unit guide. Graphically is not going to be in your unit guide, but it is still a homework assignment. So it's going to go into Aries, but not your unit guide. All right, so here's our rule. We're going to add real parts with real parts, imaginary parts with imaginary parts. Write it down. Real goes with real. Imaginary goes with imaginary. It's that simple. You have learned the lesson after that one sentence. Real with real. I'm hoping so. I want just everyone to finish the homework and not have any homework over the 3-day weekend. Imaginary with imaginary, real with real. All right, so let's do an addition problem and then a subtraction problem, and then we're going to do some graphing. So if I'm adding, who can add the reals with the reals and the imaginaries with the imaginaries? You have to do two, whatever these, maybe second grade problems. I have to do 88 minus 71, and then I have to do 7 minus 10. Who can add the reals with the reals? By the way, the real part is right here and right here. Is there someone that can add those two reals together and then eventually do the imaginaries? Who has their card still? India, yes.
You're going to get 17 minus 3i.
17 minus 3i. Leo? I would consider that provoking, but I still haven't put it in the HP preset for it. Don't be doing that. All right, so it is indeed 17 minus 3i. Leo, explain to us why it is 17 minus 3i to get your participation card in. I feel like making you explain it, though. 17. I'll give you a hint, Leo. 17 comes from these two numbers. Do you see how to get 17 from these two numbers? What do you mean by subtracting? Can you just explain a little bit more? You're almost there.
Ooh, I know.
Okay, Aurelio.
So you subtract 71, 88. Ooh, pow, you get 17.
Done. Good.
I said that.
Same thing for 7 and negative 10. Again, if you are always questioning...
Can you take my card?
I will, yeah.
And you can take my card too.
Leo, you still need to try again. If you ever get confused when you're adding numbers, if they have opposite signs, positive and negative, subtract them, take the sign to the larger. As a good review all the way back from, I don't know when. I definitely went over in Algebra 1 though. Okay, example 2, I need to distribute the negative. If you have a plus sign, you don't need to do anything. If you have a negative, you always need to distribute. High five. No, okay, Ellery, go for it.
Once you distribute the negative, so negative 11 is going to change to positive, and 6i will be positive as well. So then you're going to have 31 plus 11, which is 42. And then because 12 is negative, you'll have minus 6i.
There it is. Everyone write it down. And more importantly than writing it down, make sure you understand this is one homework assignment based on example 1 and example 2. Adding and subtracting. We've dealt with subtracting polynomials before. This is even easier than polynomials. It's just two numbers over and over again. Now's the time for questions. Jaden?
So, okay, wait. I didn't hear you. Sorry. It's not going to be like one assignment for strictly adding and one for subtracting and then graphing. It's going to be adding and subtracting.
Adding and subtracting is one, and then graphing is the second.
Okay.
Question? Oh, sorry, Jaden.
No, keep going. It's not math.
Oh.
Just add the like terms and then take the sign of the bigger one.
Yes, whenever you're doing 7i and 10i, those would be considered like terms, I suppose. They're both the imaginary parts that you're going to be adding. So yeah, 7i, negative 10i, because they're opposite signs, subtract them, take the sign to the larger. Other questions? Jaden, questions?
What's nitrous oxide?
So let me demonstrate this to the class.
You off topic? I'm not. I was really curious.
So, just so that everyone is warned, I'm not going to do it, but just as a warning to everyone else.
What?
There's a thing at the very bottom. Oh, do I not have it anymore? Oh, there it is. Unhelpful question.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know.
Now everybody knows, though, because everyone is here. All right, so coming back here, we're going to do example 3. Here's Z1, here's Z2. I need a quiet raised hand. Tell me what Z1 is. What is the rectangular form of Z1? I see one hand. I see two hands. What is Z1? Who can tell me what the coordinates are of Z1 in the complex plane?
Ooh. Is that wrong with hand?
Who has a quiet raised hand?
Ooh, I know it.
Aurelio, that's my say tree. You can't do that. I said a quiet raised hand. And you're very loud. It's just a procedure, though. It's 5. Caroline.
Ooh.
There it is. 3. It's not 3 comma 2, though. It's 3 plus 2. Look at this. Yeah, there it is. 3 plus 2i. Everyone write it down. Z1 is 3 plus 2i. What about Z2? Anna.
-6
Plus 3i. Yes.
I don't have my card yet.
Oh, yeah. I need to get those printed out. I took your card. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add these two together, and then I will plot the resulting sum. So is there a quiet raised hand that can add these together? We can do it off to the left-hand side. Who can add these two complex numbers together? I see one hand. Can I get 2? Can I get 3? I only have 2 hands. Who can add these two numbers together? I'm looking to give a card away. Colby, you have your card? Yeah, Colby, go for it. -3 plus 5i is indeed the sum. I'll label that. That is the sum. When I add these together, I do get -3 plus 5i. Everyone right now, graph. -3 plus 5i. Where does that live? Graph. -3 plus 5i. If I walk around right now, I should be able to see that on everyone's graph.
Negative what?
-3 plus 5i. That is the sum.
Oh, okay. Should we just know?
Yes. After the lesson. -3 plus 5i lives right here. And I can label this one Z1 plus Z2. Rather, you can go after the lesson. If it's a super, super emergency, then I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait until after the lesson.
Why did you mention that?
Plot Z1 minus Z2. Again, this time I'm going to have to distribute the negative. Whenever I'm doing subtraction, be careful. You have to always distribute a negative with a minus sign. So, I'm going to write this one out. I'm going to do Z1, which is 3 plus 2i. I'll write it down here. 3 plus 2i. That was Z1. And I'm going to subtract Z2. Z2 is the one in red. Subtract Z2. Z2 is -6 plus 3i. Can someone walk me through the problem without graphing it? We'll let someone else graph it. I see one hand. I see India's hand. I see Ellery's hand. Who can tell me how to do the subtraction problem? It's very, very similar to example number 2. Do I have any new hands? No new hands? India.
You're going to want to distribute the subtraction sign into the second part of the problem. So you're going to get +6 and a -3i.
Perfect. And then the next step after that?
And then combine them together, you get 9 minus I.
Thank you, India. Give yourself 50 XP. 9 minus I. Who wants to graph it? You can come up to the board and just point. Where is 9 minus I? Beverly, come point to it real quick. Where's 9 minus I? You don't even need to use a marker, just your finger. 9 minus I is right there. And let's call this thing Z1 minus Z2. This is Z1 minus Z2.
Can it be the difference?
Yes, if I want to call it the difference in your labeling down here, you can say that's the difference. Do we have anything on the back? Yes, we have 2 more. These two you're going to do on your own with help from your neighbors, not with Mr. Sindel unless you really, really need it. Do example 5 and example 6, and then you are going to be done. So, everyone right now, example 5, example 6, do it by yourself with the help of your neighbors. Good luck.